Azamina, RB, and even Vanquish. So, what a weekend. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on us. There have been some interesting deck lists that popped up out of the weekend. I think this Azamina list out of its regional was one of the most interesting ones because all I've heard is people talking shit on this list. And I think this list is actually pretty good because you're able to go second. Somebody's going to be like, huh? Well, I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, we can subversion kick things out. You have the lava golems to go second. Adjudicator here is just going to start smashing in monsters for half your life points. But I mean, where it truly gets interesting is the reflection effects of this, and also the fact that we can just mode change into this 4,000 attack point creature, which is actually really, really good. So you can basically rely on this damage reflection U-Bell effect, or we can just go straight into the big monster itself. And this thing can't be destroyed by card effects. And then each time your opponent activates card effect, all monsters they control lose 500 after it resolves. And then, of course, just big boss monster. It just turns into, you know, how fast can I get to this? I mean, you have so many ways to get this. I mean, we're even playing debtors here to be able to kind of turbo that out. And then, of course, you know, Deception's just going to roll out the Azamina good stuff. So it's a little bit different of a deck than what a lot of people are kind of used to seeing. That doesn't mean it's a bad idea and a bad concept. It just means that community wasn't ready for a going second, break the board Azamina pile to be able just to tear apart the meta. And I think that we do need this kind of stuff coming into the meta to be able to crush the competition because, God, man, we need good going second decks. So I think that this is the first of its kind. Will be replicated? I don't know. I think I'm curious to see about that myself. Next up is your 19th RB deck special. Now, if you keep asking me how I keep finding these decks, I don't know, man. They just keep popping up. Like, evidently, RB is a lot better than the community really gave it credit for. And we just continue to see this deck turning over success rates with success rates. Now, you are pretty much playing all the little guys in here. I think that's pretty much necessary. We are getting away playing regular. I mean, you kind of have to play Regulus. Like you have to have a boss monster that you can pretty much descend into to be able just to put pressure on your opponent. You don't really have a choice at this point. Like, you're already getting extra deck locked. I mean, hence the we're gonna roll into the World Crown off of the Orcus. I guess it's kind of the cool thing, right? Like, we have this, we get the free setup, mill down a piece that we might need, and we can kind of go from there. You're also going to notice, yeah, we are playing the Clockwork Knight in the main deck. I've seen some builds playing this in the side deck. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think straight having this be an option that you can pull is just going to be a much better concept. Like, have it be built in the main deck. Also, you got going second options out your anus here, man. You have droplets, you have Book of Eclipses, anything that your opponent thinks that they're going to have a fun time with. You've also got Triple Fua built in the main deck. Like, you can go first or second. Also, key and note here, I mean, get both of the trap cards here, you'll be fine. Also, triple thrust into Evenlies to go second, along with the Black Goat Laughs here. Yeah, I've seen enough to understand that this is not a bad deck at all. I think all of the tools present in this list are very, very good. I think that this duelist very much knew what they needed to do to overcome the meta. And it's that kind of stuff that really does kind of facilitate, you know, good Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, people. It looks good. Next up, we have Vanquish Soul. Well, first of all, this was the winning list out of this weekend's YCS. So let's give it up for Vanquish Soul actually figuring out that it's still a competent deck. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice about this list is, one, more than one, why are we playing 3 Lupus? Like, why have we gone beyond the expected norm that players are having? Why are we changing the concept now? Well, it's because getting that quick exceed during the opponent's turn. We see a lot of people, they see a lupus down, they automatically go, we got to get this thing out of here. This is a problem. You can also special summon this thing from your hand. So it's not like we can't make multiple lupus, one on your turn, one on your opponent's turn. You kind of see what I'm getting at here. It's just the constant pressure of being able to bring these guys out. And of course, these canine monsters getting that extra 900 attack points. Suddenly this lupus looking like he's a 3,200 attack point snack and he's doing his job, which becomes a little bit problematic. You also notice we are playing the Snow Devil in the main deck, which I think is fine. We also have the additional mulch armies down on the side deck. And then the heat de resistance of telling the yummy player, oh, hell no, you're not playing the game. This is the seal the opponent's graveyard. You're not playing. I think it's really cool to see that somehow this deck has somehow remained in its current incarnation, was considered a dead deck by a lot of the community, and suddenly just explodes back into the populace, proving that, oh crap, the community was wrong. Vanquish actually is a very relevant deck, but I do think we will see some canine limitations here, probably putting this deck back on a death throne, probably in the next month or two. I cannot imagine they're going to allow this to exist. Good old Canine Mitsurugi. So this was, I think, one of the more unique decks out of this weekend's YCS Top Cut, because the whole way that this deck functioned was we're using the canine cards to basically kind of recover a field, but also we could tell our opponent, no, you're not going to get access to these hand traps that are going to be cards that could end my career. No, that was never going to be the case of what we could do. But instead, we put more of an emphasis on the Mitsurugi stuff. We're able to use the rotating board pressure that comes with this deck, and shucky darn, man, suddenly you've got yourself a very, very strong monster. I think that was the main shock factor of the weekend, was just how good are the canine cards. And with the canine cards being as good as they are, supplementing them into decks, how good do they actually be? And the answer was, god damn, they're bonkers good, man. And honestly, things like Droll and Lockbird, Ash, the rest of the hand trap goon squad for this did very well. Also, case in point, please take note of Dimensional Fissure. We've talked about this card. It has shown up in quite a lot of explanations. We've seen why this card can be the monster that needs to be. And also, denying your opponent access to, getting things in their graveyard wins you a lot more matches than you might think. Mitsurugi just doesn't give a crap. They're just like, oh, hey, we can be tributed. We could pull back from the banish pile. Like, the deck already inherently has such great synergy that it works out very well. And there's not much else to say, man. Like, this deck is one of the most consistent one-card packages in modern era Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's all because of one stupid level 8 ritual monster. Isn't that great? And then we have just some Blue Eyes White Dragon. I try to toss every Blue Eyes list I can find into a video because people love to see this stuff, man. They're like, oh, it's just like me for real, for real. I can do well with Blue Eyes White Dragon. Hence the, still maximizing on all these numbers. The Lordly Load package is still a very important piece of this. A build is only playing one Drill Beam, which I think is fine. Unfortunately, like, Drill Beam can be very miss right now. I think it's a great card, but it's like you're not really able to use the ability of this card the way that you want it to. 6 months ago, you could use a Drill Beam, you knock your opponent on tilt. It would allow you another turn to Drill Beam, and you could just continuously control your opponent through that. That's not the game we live in anymore. You do see, we have to make concessions. Now we have to play triple Ghost Bell within this deck to be able to get those control options. Also, shout out to actually playing the Driver, the Gamma, and the triple Delta. Delta is also a very, very strong card right now. Being able to, blow out powerful spell cards is very, very strong. Unfortunately, I do wish it said spell effect, but just when your opponent activates a spell card, it works. It works. Trust. It's good enough. I do see we've also got triple Dragon's Mind down here in the side deck. Yes. The recurable counter trap card on a pay 2,500 life points that my opponent can't do poop about. Seems absolutely the good reason why we know why these decks are doing good. But it's looking pretty interesting out here. I like what I'm seeing. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.